Hello, and welcome back to the third episode of Thoughts on Star Wars and Comics. Today, I'd like to talk about the 7th issue in the series, which is sort of like an interlude issue in between the first and second book. So before we get into the second book, I thought we'd talk a little bit about issue 7. Now, issue 7 is Luke Skywalker reading Obi-Wan's journal that he found at the end of the other book after his battle with Boba Fett. And it's just a little story about him on Tatooine, keeping an eye on Luke and dealing with the, Jabba's smugglers and henchmen and stuff like that who are off trying to steal water from people and stuff like that. It's a nice little story, and if Disney was paying attention to this would be a good plot for the Obi-Wan movie, really. In the book, Obi-Wan has to deal with all the stupid crap that happens on Tatooine, and he has to restrain his Jedi abilities so that he's not noticed by anyone. Which is a really good, little story to pick up on. Of course, eventually, by the end of it, the smugglers attack the moisture farm where Luke is, and Obi-Wan has to interject. He does this in sort of a stealth attack way by, taking out the lights and then crippling each individual person with the Force, which is really cool because it's nice to see, a little bit of hand-to-hand combat instead of just lightsabers from the Jedi, because the Jedi were pretty adept at hand-to-hand combat in the old EU, which is nice to see that they're bringing a little bit of that back. Don't really get to see a lot of it in the movies. Now, one thing I will say, that weird trace art that we see in most of the Star Wars main series isn't really present in this book. Instead, it looks fairly hand-drawn. It could be digital art, but it's got some nice stylistic things about it. A lot better than what we have been seeing. I really like the way it's lined and colored and stuff like that. The artist on this is Simone Bianchi, I think it's pronounced. I'm probably butchering the name. And, it looks pretty good. I like this style of art. I wish most of the comic was in this. This reminds me more of the old Dark Horse stuff, which was fantastic. You always got really neat artwork and different perspectives through the Dark Horse line that you just don't really see in the Marvel line very much. But all said and done, this is a pretty good little read. There are a couple more of these through the series, which is nice. It sort of breaks up the main series as it goes along. I can't say anything really bad about this one. There's nothing wrong with the story or the characters or anything like that. We saved the bad stuff for the next book, which I'll get into in my next video, which I'll probably shoot today just to save some time. Alright then, that's all I got for now, and I'll see you in the next video.